Hey guys, I started pulling some cards. I wanted to do a reading. It felt like there was just this incredible energy in the air today that, sorry that I was sewing in here and there's little threads everywhere. It's driving me crazy. I felt like there was this incredible energy in the air. A lot of this like Mars energy, this like not only getting stuff done, but also as though things are really starting to come to fruition. It's this feeling of having this creation that you've been working on and finally starting to see the pieces maybe fall into place or feel more deeply inside a clear vision for what it is that you want to bring to fruition. And I'm in that same space. I've had a lot of different things that I've been mulling through inside, with this freaking virus. Not very many people have been seeking out massage, at least not in my reality. So, really trying to branch out and see what else is it that I love doing and what do I think that I can offer other people. So I have a lot that's going on in my wheelhouse with all of that, but I can feel that that's not an energy that is solidified just to myself. So as I started pulling cards, I realized there's probably a lot of you out there that are in this same kind of space. And if there's a message that I can pull out for myself that also resonates with other people, we pick up on the same energies, then awesome. So the overarching energy of overarching energy of the cards that I was pulling was exactly that behind the scenes, maybe under the surface, kind of keeping it to yourself or just to a couple of people. There's some things that you have been working on changing, shifting, transforming, and that those dominoes that you've been laying in a line they're starting to fall, but not in a bad way though. It's really gaining this feeling of having control of your own destiny, kind of getting past the point where you're willing to hand those reins over to fate in a negative connotation of there's nothing I can do about it. This is just the way it is. Or, somebody told me I had to, that obligation that we all tend to grow up living within, and really kind of taking a step back and saying, I'm not happy in this place that I'm in, whether it's work or your home or just in life, you just kind of take a step back. And I think that's one advantage that we've really been afforded through quarantine, if you have chosen to quarantine or if you've been mandated to quarantine. But everybody's life has shifted in a way where we've slowed down, and during those slowdowns we have that opportunity to really take a look around and say, where am I not really fulfilled? Where am I feel like I'm lacking? Where am I truly lacking? And where's it just in my mental space? And how can we work on that ourselves? Is it something that we need to shift mentally or physically or emotionally? So I feel like for the most of you with this energy that I'm picking up on, it comes to a physical thing, and it probably does come to your abundance. There's a lot here about material possession, the grounded aspects of life. It's not so much about a relationship, and for some of you it can be. It's just a different shade. But generally speaking, what comes out of me is going to end up coming out in terms of some sort of passionate pursuit. So we have these dominoes beginning to fall, and community starting to come forward. I'm going to go on a limb and say that if you're resonating with this energy, you've maybe only spoken with a few people about some changes that you're wanting to make in a real sense. I'm starting to study up on this so I can make a shift in my career towards that, or I'm going back to school for that, or, whatever it is. So there's been a couple of people that you've talked to that have really been your like small tribe about this, that have been your support, and that there's been a lot of balancing on this. This isn't something that has been a rushed idea, a rushed process. And I feel like that's maybe a shift, that there's just been this balancing act of figuring out this is where I'm at, and I'm not going to just wipe all that away and scrap it and shift over to this instead, but I'm also not going to ignore what I want to shift into. It's this slow gravitation from one life into another, and a marrying of the aspects of life where we've been that have been working and where we are going, instead of a total 180. So there's this new opportunity that comes forward, and I feel like it's around the end of October and November. When we get in that Sag season, that fire starts coming back in, and we really start seeing the rewards from what we have been planting, even if it's just the little things. It looks like there is something that is somewhat large that comes in. It's a good opportunity that finally comes forward and makes us feel really good about this. It's a step forward towards the progress of where we want to be. And when we have that kind of happen, we are afforded this opportunity. Sometimes we kind of come into fear. When we see that the change is actually happening, fear can kind of set in. And when fear sets in, we have that chance to pause what we're doing and say, maybe this isn't for us. And I'm going to stay in the comfort zone of where I've been, even if it's not all working. Or to say, these are lessons that I have learned, and I'm going to take those lessons with me, and I'm going to move forward on this next prospect that I have, this next venture. And I really feel like that is where you go. There might be that moment of fear for a hot second of, can I even do this? Am I worth this? Is this something that I'm comfortable doing? Who's going to care about me doing this? But this has been a long journey for you. This has been a soul journey. It's not just about whatever this venture is that you're going on. There's been all of these shifts inside of your being and around you that have really culminated through this journey. And it's in that remembering where we've been and where we are now that we can have that safety and security to know that I'm safe going forward from here, and I'm going to take this opportunity. I'm not going to let this one pass me by. And sometimes those fears can creep in, but kind of extending an olive branch, so to speak, to those fears and saying, I hear you and I see you. This is what I've learned from you in the past, and I don't need to be afraid anymore. And there might also be those people out there that are kind of naysayers, family, friends, coworkers that aren't super supportive, and remembering in those moments that surrounding ourselves with the people who are supportive of what our dream is and that are encouraging us is what's important right now. Not listening to the other people who are saying negative things that create more doubt. No doubt you will have your own fears yourself. You don't really need other people that are propagating even more doubt within you. So kind of turning a blind eye to them and saying, support me or walk away. Might be something that occurs for many of you. I do feel like there is one person in particular that totally sees you eye to eye on this, and that is so supportive, that is there as a shoulder to cry when you're frustrated, that is there as the cheerleader when something amazing happens, or when you do have that little bit of doubt and you're kind of like, can I do this? Can I do this? That person that says, yeah, you can. Like, look at all this other shit that you've done. You are absolutely going to do this, and I'm not going to not let you do this. We're here for this. So then from there, we take this real progression of looking back on where we've been and seeing where things are starting to go. Everything starts to really cement itself in a concrete way, and we start to gain even more support from, energies around us, our guides, God, angels, whatever your resonant feeling is. When it comes to your beliefs, along with that physical tribe of people that we have that are there to support us, we start to really see this progression forward, and we start to see that things are really weaving together, and that we're making a path here that's not so zigzagging and jagged anymore. It's this nice curvy meandering path where everything is really blending, where we've been, where we are, where we're going, like a braid, and all three are sectioning together, and you can see kind of defined in your own mind where you've been and where you're at right now and where that's coming. But there's also this, like I said, this marrying together of it, and more prosperity starts to come forward financially and emotionally, which is almost more important in my opinion. It's definitely more important in my opinion. You start to really realize this is where I should have been going, and this gratitude comes forward of thank goodness that I didn't let this opportunity pass me up again. Thank goodness that I didn't stay stuck in that fear that I was in before. Because looking back, I can see that while I might have been copacetic where I was, where it might have been okay, I wasn't exuberantly happy. I wasn't filled with passion. I wasn't excited to wake up during the day and, necessarily go do the things I had to do. And when I came home, I didn't feel relieved to be home, and I didn't feel excited to go do these things. It was kind of more of going with the motions and being okay with what was happening, with spatters of happiness, and knowing that it's there, it's just not all the way there. So we get to this point where truly this full culmination of realizing that we can create our entire destiny, that we can work with the energies around us, and that when we listen to those little pullings, those urgings, that voice inside, we pay attention to the signs around us and that thing that really pulls at our heart. I love cooking. I love cooking. I love creating a meal from these amazing live ingredients. I don't eat meat. My family inherently then doesn't eat meat. I love looking at this meal that I created with live, this live life force and these beautiful colors and different flavors, and experimenting with, if I put this in there, what is that going to shift? Or this is so great right now, but there's just one more element that if it was there, it would just be like pop. It would just, it would wow me. And then hearing people when they eat your food and they're being nourished by it and they're like, God, this is so good. This is amazing. I want to cook like this. How did you do this? I love that, everything about it, the family meal, the talking. And that's something that we're really starting to come back to, is that family meal. Not just eating separately and then coming together and saying that was great, but really sitting together and conversing and talking about our day and what do we want tomorrow to be. And I'm excited about that too. My kids aren't going to school. They'll be with me. So we're going to do a lot of fun experiences for learning and being able to use that time to come together at the end of the day around the table, eating something that is nourishing our body and our soul, and talk about what we've experienced for the day and what we want to further learn from there. God, it just makes me really excited. And those are things that I've kind of known forever. I enjoy doing. I love being a mom. I love cooking, and I like, the kitchen's always like my safe haven. That's where I go when I'm stressed out or I'm happy or, whatever. It's just where I want to be. I feel creative in there. So really kind of pulling those together and doing something with that, not only helping my family, eating things that are healthier for them and more nourishing, but, dabbling with the idea of making a YouTube channel where I can show people kind of, this is how I create, this is what I cook that keeps us healthy. This is how I've lost so much weight and really gotten better in shape, not just for looks and appearance, but just feeling really good. I'm really excited about that. So like, there's those little urgings that we have. Maybe it's art for you. You love painting or drawing or sketching to relieve stress and happiness, or whatever, but you do it as a hobby, and maybe finding something that is, that allows it to be more of your outlet for your pursuits. Maybe that's where it's supposed to be pulled, and it's kind of like your job to sit back and say, how can I make this more of my thing? Video games. My son loves playing video games, and I'm always like, play video games, go for it, but like, maybe consider programming for yourself and how you can make your own video games. You can make these incredible video games you love playing and see other people enjoy playing a game that you made. That's really cool. So anyways, it's that taking that destiny in your hands, to working with the energies and the longing, the words that are pulling at you, and creating that longing to go in this direction, and really trusting that, we don't feel that for no reason, that our heart wouldn't pull us in a way that would create pain for, a negative reason. Sometimes we're pulled some way to heal something and then release it and say goodbye, and that's released now. And sometimes we're pulled some way because that's our destiny, and it's where our happiness really lies. So really, coming to the culmination of this, this feels kind of January-ish for me, maybe even March, when spring is sprung and things start coming back, flowers blooming and all of that fun stuff. We really start to see, that shift. We can see how everything is changing out. We just keep it on with the keep it on. We have the lessons behind us of everything that has happened to us, for us. I like to say it's happened for us, and that has brought us to where we are, and just that great gratitude for that. I really feel like that's it. I don't think. I'm going to pull a card out of my Lightseers Tarot deck. I'm going to pause this for a second because I have to shuffle. If you don't pause. I kind of hate when people pause their videos, but at the same time, you don't want to see me shuffle this deck, right? Do you? Maybe you do. I don't know. How's everybody been holding up, I wonder? Up and down with quarantining. It's such a double-edged sword for me. I love people and like talking to people, But I really like being in my own space when I want to be in my own space. So it's been kind of nice to, like, when you're in the store, people aren't in your butt. You know, they're not shoved all around you. You have space in your bubble. It's like you can breathe. You can just feel my own stuff. I don't have to feel some stranger's things. It's really given me an opportunity to learn even more. Like I always tell my kids, my magic. I feel things so deeply. I feel energies around people. I feel attachments. I feel the good and I feel the bad. I feel the happy. I feel the sad. And before, you know, there's always so many people everywhere. Everything is so crowded that it's like, why am I feeling all these things? Where's this coming from? Oh my God, I felt fried 24/7. And really having that that space afforded to me now when I'm out to know, like, you know, we're out and we're good and we're all happy and cheery and I can feel my kids and, you know, we're doing great. And then as we're standing in line somewhere, all of a sudden I'm like, it's just this woof comes in. All right, this is the person in front of me. I'm going to get my kids behind me and I can do a little, you know, shielding off. Really doing better with feeling those little differences and then realizing when something's trying to attach to me. This might sound too woo-woo for some reason, I don't know. But when something's trying to attach, like, no, you don't belong here. Go back where you came from. This is a no-go zone and I'm not bringing you home with me. This is not my work to have to work through. I've done that. Still doing my own work. I'm not taking yours with me. It's been really great though. I have found my silver linings to COVID. I hate the masks. I feel like I can't breathe. It's awful. So I kind of try to avoid wearing the mask. You know, going to stores if I don't have to and whatnot. I don't know. It's just a whole thing. I'm just holding space for getting a second home in Ecuador. That's what I want. So now I'm living in that dreamland. I want to go travel the world. I want to go see and experience cultures and life and people and I just want to live it. And Ecuador is really cheap, like so cheap. You should see some of these houses that are right on the ocean. Like walk out the door to the ocean, and their houses are just beautiful. And they're like $200,000 for a 3-bedroom, 4.5 bath house on the ocean. It's like $500 a month in a mortgage payment. I just gotta find a way to make that, and that could be my home base. I come back to go travel, come back to home base in Ecuador. We'll see. All right, so we have the sun, which is, you know, it's happiness, it's life force feeding you, feeding your dreams, feeding your hopes, feeding your aspirations, burning away what you don't need. You know, it's really that creative energy. It's that fire that burns, and really pulling that energy in is kind of like keeping that fuel going. You know, when you might feel a little bit of burnout or a little bit of that fear coming in or whatever, maybe sending out a signal to the sun, you know, it's just intention. Thinking about reaching out to the sun with a lasso or a straw or a gigantic tube, or I don't give a poop what it is. Reaching out to the sun and just attaching and saying, I just need energy. I need more motivation for this. I need some inspiration. I need hope and courage. I need you to burn off what is not serving me right now and everything that's feeling icky and kind of holding me down. Might sound silly, but it's like, for real, it works. If you believe it works even better. Laying out in the sun is like my favorite thing to do, because I just come in feeling like I have lost 15 pounds of sludge that was not mine, or that was mine. Going to the tanning bed. I'll say what you will about tanning. I go in that sucker. I say it's in my healing chamber. I go in there and I come out like, ah. Plus, COVID can't live in UV rays. So, cleanest place you could be, I would imagine. That card. I love the imagery and the color on these cards. Just beautiful. The sun is like just so bright. I just love it. It's like the rejuvenation of all the chakras. Ace of Cups. It's like total emotional fulfillment. Your heart singing its song and sending that out into the world and receiving that back. This ebb and this flow. True heart-centered energy. Beautiful. Just love these cards. This is the Lightseers Tarot deck. Chris Ann, I just love it. And then the other deck that I use is the Muse Tarot, also by Chris Ann. The imagery on that one is beautiful. So you have the wheel, which is change. Change coming, Three of Pentacles. We're building and creating with the universe and with people around us, really getting that support that we need. This isn't a battle that we're doing alone. It's not in that beginning stage. You know, Two of Pentacles is more like that wishy-washy balancing. Where do I go? How do I balance this out and keep everything even Steven? And you're kind of doing that alone. It's more solid. That's what I'm looking for. I was going to say solidarity. That's not it. It's more solo, kind of an act though, an energy to be in. But the Three of Pentacles is when you start building that foundation with those around you. You start cluing people into what you're doing, and they start helping you create when they can, where they can, or being that support for you. And then you have the universal energies that come in from the earth. You know, those grounding energies that really start to solidify this in is a concrete. It's not two coins that you're wobbling up here anymore. It's now a pyramid that you're building on the ground, a foundation that you can stand on, and a triangular foundation you can stand on, the strongest foundation that there is. We should build more pyramids. So we have Judgment and the Seven of Wands. So the Judgment is like this releasing of everything that wasn't for us. It's kind of that surrender, that final surrender to our soul and to all of our guidance around us, of saying, okay, I'm ready. I'm taking this path, and it's going to be scary as hell sometimes, and I'm probably going to have doubts, but I'm going to trust. And I am releasing. It's almost like a rebirth, but in a less, usually like a tower rebirth is a more traumatic event happening, where it's just like, and to hell with all of this, I'm moving on to this. This is more this like finally just getting down on your knees and saying, all right, that's it. Like, I'm here and I'm ready for this. I have learned all of the lessons. I have seen what I've gone through. I see the purpose for it all. I'm taking that with me, but I don't need to repeat those cycles anymore. I'm moving on, and I'm going to start building a fence with these instead. This is my fence of lessons that I have learned. And those teaching moments don't really need to come to you anymore past your fence. They hit your fence and you say, this post right here was what I earned when I already learned from you last time. And you say goodbye to you, and you put your fence pole back. And you have this nice fenced boundary up of these lessons that you have learned, and it's like your willpower really comes to life. And you know that you don't have to continue repeating those anymore. You have this like burning in your solar plexus. It says, I know who I am, I know where I've been, I know where I'm going. I'm not repeating those things anymore. I'm following my heart. I'm going where I need to go, and I am trusting that even in those moments that are scary as heck, I'm fully supported, and I'm going to get where I'm supposed to go. So I'm going to pull one more card. Well, really, I think I have a pretty rounded out reading here. I feel good, but I feel like maybe Page of Wands. It's that beginning of this moment for you. It's like this, where you are. World, Page of Wands, Tower, Fool, Knight of Swords, High Priestess. Wow, that's really awesome. There's so many major arcana cards. This is very like big changes are going to be happening. This isn't small moments that come in. You know, it's like once you throw your wand in the air, you know, your baton, whatever, in the air and say, I'm doing it. I'm doing it. Here I go. That shift happens. The world turns and it starts to come upright for you. Some things wobble and fall. You know, we know that. We have to let go of some things before other things can come in. So as the world is turning, there's a little bit of chaos, but that's where we're trusting in that moment. We're being the fool. You know, we're trusting in the universe that when I take this leap, you're going to catch me, and that I'm going to step into a new flower of life. This is the creation, and I'm going to go headstrong where I'm supposed to go. And nothing is stopping me anymore. I'm trusting in my guidance. I'm trusting my intuition. I'm trusting in my heart and my soul, and I'm going to get there. And it is freaking beautiful, man. I'm excited as hell for this. I'm excited for the other people that are in the same energy with me. If you are and you want to share kind of what's been going on with you, I would love to hear about it. This is exciting for me. Most readings that I was always picking up on, it was so relationship-y based, and it was you know, just turmoil going on. And it's really nice to see that we're kind of at this point where we've moved past that stuff. It's kind of a big reason why I took a break from tarot, to be honest, from doing the readings, was you know, I watch these other channels where these people just hang on the every word of somebody when it comes to their romantic life. And that's a lot of responsibility to have as a tarot reader, to know that people are going to hear what you have to say. And especially once you have a big enough following, there's a good amount of people that are like, if you say that a man that was a Scorpio is cheating on me, well, my man's a Scorpio, so he must be cheating on me and I'm leaving him. And it's like, well, see though, that's a lot to just kind of trust on cards that came out for somebody who's reading for anybody in the world who could be listening. You have to really resonate with what's coming out in a reading and say, my God, that is so me. That's where I've been. This is just singing to my heart. I can feel this. This is me. You know, and not just go on a whim of, oh, I'm a Sagittarius, and the Sagittarius reading is absolutely going to be speaking to me, or I don't know. It was just very intimidating, and especially when it comes to people's love life, like that's just something that people get very caught up in, and kind of, hang on one second. Kiddo wanted popcorn. It was a lot of responsibility, and I don't want to be responsible for people's love lives. And to be honest, it just wasn't really what I wanted to be reading for. There's so many readers out there where like that's what they focus on, and that's fine. It's just I like being different. So I'm happy that this came out about some sort of a path that you're going on. This really feels like it comes to like a career passion-based type of a thing. You know, abundance coming in, not just in a wealth sense, not just in, you know, money, and having the things that you want to have, but it's that like emotional abundance, it's spiritual abundance, it's true happiness. You can chase all of the possessions and all of the money all day, every day, but for the vast, vast, vast majority of people, you're not going to find happiness inside of that. This is happiness. So I'm going to close it up there. I'm going to keep doing readings with, I think that when I pull cards for myself, I'm just going to record them and throw them up there. My cards I pull for myself are never for love life and relationships and stuff. If something comes up like that for me, I know I really have to pay attention. It's not what I usually look at. I'm set there. So mine generally come up with abundance in terms of my spiritual practice and what I should be doing with my purpose. And with that inevitably follows all of the other stuff that as a human we like, that security in our pentacles. So I'll keep pulling cards for myself and I'll record them for those who resonate. And if on the occasion I feel like I should do a reading for random energy out there, I will do that as well. I hope that you guys enjoyed this. I hope that you are all doing well. I hope that you are keeping sane. I hope you're doing better than keeping sane. I hope that you are finding so many things that you love doing and getting back in touch with your inner child and taking care of your body and your health and your heart and your soul and your mind. Don't let it just wither away watching Netflix. You know, do fun things. Pick up a paintbrush or go cook something yummy in the kitchen. That's all I got. I will post another video soon. Bye, guys.